Disclaimer: this tutorial requires basic knowledge of Blender. Want to make a video like this one, but don't know how? Well, after this video, you're going to have a Backrooms video of your own. So let's get started. When you're going to open Blender, you need to delete everything and add a cube. Now you need to scale up the cube as big on the X and Y axis as you want your backrooms to be. Now you have a huge room. Delete the ceiling because we're going to replace it with our own. Add a plane object and move it to the corner. Now do the same thing I do. For this tutorial, I'm going to use the materials from my asset library, which is in the comments. To apply the materials to a specific surface, you need to create a new material and drag over the material from the library to the new material. Now to make the materials not stretch, just do what I do. Now back to the ceiling. Here, I'm fixing up the ceiling because it didn't fit the texture. To make the textures not stretch when moving geometry, like here, turn on correct face attributes. Now to the ceiling light. To cover the ceiling fully, add 2 array modifiers in both directions. Perfect. Quick note, emission materials don't work on Eevee, only on cycles. To make the walls, insert a plane and delete every vertices except one. Now, when you have one vertex, make the maze outline from the top view. Now when you have your outline, extrude it down. But notice how the walls are super thin. To fix that, add a solidify modifier and set it from simple mode to complex. As you see, complex mode makes an extreme difference. Now to texture the walls, apply the modifier and do as I do. Make the wall texture the same size as the boundary wall texture. There still are some issues with the ceiling though. Like, as you can see, some lights are clipping and you don't have control over where you want to have your lights. To fix this, select the ceiling and apply every modifier in order from top to bottom. Now, in edit mode, select every face where you don't want to be lights in. And now, apply the ceiling material. Now, everything is correct. Insert a camera. And with Shift plus, move it to where you want your animation to start. For the handheld camera look, I use the Camera Shackify add-on, which is the same thing that Kane uses, which, as you can see, animations without it look like this, while with like this. So with that cleared out, let's start animating. Also, the resolution of a VHS is 640 by 480. To make the animation more realistic, I'd recommend to play around in the graph editor until you're satisfied with the results. Also, to make it easier, press the Normalize button. If you have running in use segment, I'd recommend adding another shake parameter and keyframing its influence to slowly turn it on and off. Or in some cases, you can use it for walking too, but the basic idle investigating animation normally looks great. For this segment, you can use any 3D models, but I'm going to use the ones from the asset library. With compositing, you can add post-processing effects like bloom, but to preview it, you need to render at least one image. To see my render settings, go into the render section of the video and then come back. Now, if you want, you can do what I do, or do this section yourself, or even skip it. Now it's time to render, and first of all, here are my render settings. If allowable, I recommend to use optics, which you can turn on in the Blender system settings. One thing that can speed up render time a lot in a complicated scene is fast GI approximation, which I recommend putting on 2 or 3 in both viewport and render. Now, if you have set the target folder to where the frames save, you can just click Render Animation, or if you have audio in your scene, render audio too. Create a new video editor file. And drag your images into the timeline, specifically the first one with every image selected. If you have exported the audio, import that too. When you have imported everything, match the settings with the settings from the original scene, like FPS and resolution. Also make the frame end time the same. Now set the render path and render. Render the video and audio if you have it. And it's done. If this video will get attention, I will make a VHS tutorial, entity tutorial, and a more in-depth tutorial for camera animation. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if this tutorial was useful.